Hey guys, welcome back to another video on my channel. Today we're back with another snapshot. This is Snapshot 25w16a. Now before we jump to what's new in this snapshot, once again I'm just reminding you, snapshots now release on Tuesdays rather than Wednesdays. So make sure to subscribe so you don't miss that, because I cover every snapshot as soon as they release. Now let's cover what is new within this snapshot, as this is for the Minecraft 1.21.6 update. And the update here is with leads. Leads have had a huge update within this snapshot. First off, leads are now way bigger to match Bedrock Edition, so they're a lot thicker than before. Which, honestly, it's not like it is in Bedrock. They've just given it a new model by the looks of it. You can now leash two mobs together. So if I was to quickly just leash this cow, and I was to head over here to this pig, it says that I can now lead these two. So if I crouch, yes, there we go. That pig is now leashed to the cow, and the pig is now pulling the cow. This is really cool, because it means you can now kind of create caravans with certain mobs. So for example, you can now have camels. I can lead this camel. I can then crouch and click on this one. And them two camels are now leashed together. So they'll basically pull each other around. Now the next thing with this is, can you lead boats? Because obviously you can now lead boats. So can you lead two boats together? If I click that one and then I click that one, yes, there we go. These two boats are now connected by a lead, and it seems like I can't pull that boat. Was that because it wasn't in water? Let's try this again. So let's click the lead on that one. Let's then crouch and click on that one. And if I now try to pull it, okay, it seems like boats don't pull with a lead, unlike mobs, which kind of sucks. It could be because it don't have a mob inside. So let's quickly maybe just grab like a chicken and throw a chicken inside of it, because then it might detect that it's got like a controller sort of thing. So let's push the chicken inside of that boat, and now let's try and pull it, and it's still not pulling. Okay, once again, is that because it's the wrong boat and you saw that boat went flying right there? Let's get inside of this boat and let's pull. And is it pulling? Yes. Okay, it's because it was the wrong boat. So the second entity that you lead is basically the controller by the looks of it. Because if I get in this one, I cannot pull this one. So let's see how far we can take this, because I can now lead that one to that one. Okay, it seems to disconnect it, because as you can see, this one has now disconnected. And if I do that, that has reconnected. Okay, so this is the controlling boat. No, this is a controller for that boat. So I'm guessing this is the overall controlling boat. And yes, it is. There we go. We are now basically moving with three boats pulling each other. And you can see right here that I can just keep connecting boats together. So now I have a load more. I think once again, this is the connecting boat. And okay, no, this is a connecting boat for them three, but it wasn't for them two. So this is definitely going to take some getting used to, because it seems like there's a lot of things you have to remember when trying to pull boats and pull entities. So let's quickly just connect this pig. Let's connect that pig. Let's then connect that cow to that pig. Let's then connect that camel to that pig as well. Let's then connect this pig and this camel. Then, are they connected? Yes, they are. Then let's connect this pig. That's connected the pig and camel. Okay, so let's connect this pig to that pig, and then let's connect that camel once again over here to this pig. So this pig is now basically moving all of these mobs for me. Now obviously leads are still a bit temperamental, where you can see a lot of them are snapping, but not gonna lie, this is a very cool feature. Now you can also just remove a lead by shearing. So if I was to jump over here and shear this pig, you can see the lead pops off. Same if I was to shear the camel, the lead does just pop off. This can also be done with dispensers. So if I was to have a dispenser down and I was to have a mob in front of this, so let's just maybe put a chicken. Let's block it in so it can't escape. So when you are connecting the second lead to a mob, you need to make sure you are crouched, otherwise it will just connect a lead that you hold. So these are now connected together, and if I was to throw the shears in there and I was to power this with redstone, you can see it disconnects the lead with the shears. Now, some things to note. You cannot lead a mob to itself. So, for example, I cannot lead this chicken to itself. As you can see, it just disconnects the lead. So let's now quickly just show some of the features of that Minecraft have mentioned in this. So one of them, they have improved leash mechanics with reworked leash physics, allowing for more stable leash connections, especially when leashed entities are not on the ground. When dragged on the leash, leashed objects will now orientate themselves towards the leasher. Using a firework rocket when flying with leashed entities will now break the leash connection. When leashing an already leashed mob, the current leash will now snap and the player will release the object to yourself. It does also say they've updated the interactions with leash knots and fence blocks. If you have any player leashed entities in range of the leash knot, they will be released to the knot or the fence. And it also says if there's nothing left attached to the leash knot, it will disappear. And interacting with shears or punching the leash will result in it disconnecting. So if I just place it there and then click on there, you can see it's now leashed, and I can obviously add to that. But if I now, let's just say this boat, I want this boat to be leashed to this bottom corner. Nope, did I do that correctly? No, I don't think I did. And okay, that's also cool. These are now leashed to me, meaning that I can now move with them attached to me and they will follow me wherever I go. You also see I'm not holding the lead in my hand anymore, and they are still following me. I understand what I did wrong here. I didn't crouch when trying to connect it to the Happy Ghast. So if I now just shear that to get the lead off, I can then click this again, and let's quickly just attach it to that back corner. Okay, it attaches it to all four. That is really cool. And you can now see it's attached it to like all four sides. So it's kind of like a missile sort of thing. And obviously I can get in this. No. Okay, if I get in this, it just sinks to the ground. But I guess you can put mobs inside of this. So if I just throw like a villager. There we go. I've now got a villager inside of that boat. And then if I now grab a harness. So let's quickly just grab any random harness. If I now click this onto the Happy Ghast, I can then shear this fence. Let's quickly just grab our shears again. And let's just click that. There we go. The Happy Ghast has now got that villager on the boat. I can now jump onto the Happy Ghast and I can start riding. And you can see we have the villager below us attached on all four corners. This is really, really cool. This can open up for so many cool maps, even just exploration, because I could probably do this with a chest boat as well. So then my Happy Ghast has some storage on it. But even just seeing that. And it does also add a new model, as you can see right here. It does add like this leash model to the Happy Ghast, which also is really cool. So if I was to quickly just click the lead on that, and then I was to crouch and do it on that. Yes, there we go. That is insane. I really do like that. Although I don't know what use there is for this, because obviously you can't like ride sniffers. So having a Happy Ghast just fly around with a sniffer seems kind of pointless. So what would happen if I done it with a chicken? Let's quickly just grab a chicken and let's quickly just attach it onto there. Nope, that was wrong. Let's quickly just shear you. I need to crouch. This chicken seemed to be following me, but there was no lead there. So if I click you and then I was to quickly just crouch and click you, yes, you can see right there it only attaches the chicken by one lead, whereas bigger mobs attached by 4. Now there are some other changes within this snapshot. First one is that clouds will now go all the way to the horizon, which you can see, rather than just being around the player. Clouds now render for the whole of your render distance. Now there are also some technical changes in this update which I'm not going to cover because they are mainly just related to some shader things. This is one of the best features they have added in quite some time because it opens up for so many cool things. And you can see once again I now have a horse that is going into the sky. And once again we can add a harness to all of these and we can ride these Happy Ghasts with the mobs attached to the bottom of them. If I now shear this fence, the Happy Ghast is now flying with them pigs. But once again, if I just grab myself a harness and click this harness on the Happy Ghast, I can now fly with these pigs as well, meaning that transporting mobs is so easy with the Happy Ghast. And that is, can you lead minecarts? This would make it so you can make trains with minecarts, and honestly, I don't know if this is going to work, but we're going to test it anyway. So if I had 2 minecarts, let's quickly just grab ourselves a lead. We have one right here. So let's click a lead on this one. And no, this doesn't work. It would be so cool if they added this feature because you can lead boats. Why not make it so you can lead minecarts? But also, this is another thing you can do. You can connect 2 horses together. Or you can keep going and connect more than 2 horses together. So then when you ride the front leading horse, all the horses will then be brought with you. That is where I'm going to end this video though. I could go talking about this feature all day because it's such a cool thing. But I've covered the basics. If you'd enjoyed, do like and subscribe, and I guess I'll see you guys in another one very soon. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!